Yo guys, what's up? Welcome back to r/idontworkherelady, where an extremely entitled and narcissistic woman obstructs an ambulance and harasses EMTs. If you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe because I upload daily, and now all you gotta do is just sit back, relax and enjoy some I Don't Work Here Lady. I don't work here. Oh yeah? I don't work there either. I was out and about running errands this weekend when I got my second I Don't Work Here Lady experience. This time I was at a pet store ready to stock up on scratching pads for my cat and snackos for the doggos. I'm always on the lookout for new friends to give some good ear scratches to at the pet stores, so I cover lots of ground looking up and down aisles without actually holding much, if anything, in my hands. I guess that is what drew the attention of this Karen, since it seemed like she tracked me through a couple aisles before she could catch up. The initial interaction was the standard fare.
Where is this?
I don't know.
Why not? You should.
I don't work here. Statement is ignored, shrillness going to 11, etc. But then this Karen did something weird. She listened. I had repeated once again that I didn't work here, and she replied,
Fine, you don't work here, but you're still ignorant. I want to talk to your manager, wherever you do work.
Oh really now? This is where things got fun. Engage, petty revenge mode, power level 9001. I replied, well, you're in luck, because I actually work across the street at food service location and was just trying to grab some stuff in here on my break. My manager is on shift, you can go talk to him right now. With a triumphant look on her face, she sneered.
We will see if you will be finishing that shift.
And strode out. I crap you not, she left her cart right there in the freaking aisle with some stuff in it. I continued on my way, finally found the scratching pads, gave a few ear scratches, scratched a persistent itch on my nose, damned allergies, but even with the pet dander, #worth it. All of the scratching you could ever want and then some. I was about ready to head to the front to check out when I saw Karen storming down the aisle towards me yet again. Oh, the fury on her face was priceless. She huffed and puffed and blew nothing down as she trundled up to me, screeching,
They said they have no idea what you're talking about. They don't even know who you are.
Me? Oh yeah, I don't work there either. Karen?
Then why the F did you tell me you did?
Me? I don't know. I figured it made as much sense as you thinking I worked here. Then, going beyond what anyone would consider to be a rational thought, she reached for me, guessing by her hand's track she was going to try to collar me. Now for those who remember my first post about a foray to a local Walmart during Thanksgiving madness, you will recall that I am in the military. While I've never seen direct combat, being an Air Force officer who flies a desk, I do understand the basics of various infantry things. For example, the concept of fire superiority. In the case of projectile warfare, oftentimes the best way to stop the bad guy from throwing killy stuff at you is to throw an overwhelming amount of killy stuff at him. He ducks down behind killy stuff blocky things and you can then maneuver without killy stuff coming at you. This principle can be applied in a great many other aspects of life as a way to prevent things from happening. I chose to apply it here. As soon as she reached for me, I engaged my military voice, used that diaphragm, and said, Karen, if you touch me, I will effing end you. Her hand froze in mid-air. Karen,
what did you say? What did you call me?
You heard me. I will end you. Karen, tentatively pulling the hand back, eyes locked on me. Fear finally creeping in behind them. Me? I better be going, before you do something that you cannot come back from. I left her frozen in place, went to the front, paid for my items, and went about my merry way. The doggos enjoyed their snackos, the cat attacked the bag that I brought everything home in, and since I didn't need to use my AK, it was a good day. If you got the reference in the last sentence, please post in the comments. Throwback to 1992. What part of fishnets and leather says I work at Walmart, you old hag? Oh boy, how have I not found this thread sooner? Have I got a doozy for you all from a couple months back? Okay, to preface this, I, female 20 years old, had an incredibly micromanaged childhood, so when I moved out at 16, I rebelled and dressed however I wanted to. I was what I affectionately referred to as goth light, which was totally left field for the small town I grew up in. I started working the day I turned 18 and have never had a job where I did not have to wear a uniform of some sort, so my aesthetic has pretty much dropped off in the name of professionalism. I only dress up when I go out with friends, and I am a graveyard shift worker, so I stop by our friendly neighborhood Walmart because there's literally nothing else open in tiny town USA at 6 AM to pick up some brake fluid for my shit-tastic Cherokee. Let me set the scene. It's F o'clock and I'm wearing my Doc Martens boots with fishnet tights under my black denim shorts, some strappy tank top and a fire engine red leather jacket while I'm wandering the automotive section. Walmart employees wear blue polo shirts and I think black pants maybe. Either way, there's no way in hell you could see my attire and think I worked there. So I'm walking around the aisle looking for the brake fluid and finally see it on the end cap. Then I hear the foreboding behind me that I recognized all too well from the year I spent in retail hell. I look over my shoulder and don't see anyone, so I shrug it off and squat down to grab the generic cheaper fluid. Then I see this woman come rushing around the corner of the aisle and stop directly behind me. She is standing so close I cannot even stand up, so I crane my neck and look over my shoulder like, what the hell are you doing? Now this lady was every Karen stereotype that comes to mind. From the
never lost a baby weight but still thinks she's a trophy wife
to, and I'm not kidding,
let me speak to your manager.
Asymmetrical haircut with chunky highlights that should have died back in 2007. This woman looked like she stepped out of an homeowners association pamphlet and drove her luxury minivan right into effing Walmart at 6 in the morning. To give her some credit, she did move through the customary
"You work here, right?"
but didn't give me a chance to respond before she delves into a series of like 5 orders and questions about where something is and how I am going to walk my happy butt all the way across the store to get it for her. I'm just looking at this woman incredulously, waiting for her to pause for a freaking breath. Finally, she snaps,
"Are you effing stupid? I want your manager now."
At this point, I have not gotten a goddamn word in edgewise and I'm not a timid person, so I spin on my heels and stand up, forcing her to take a step back. She starts screeching like a damn banshee that I'm assaulting her, and I knew in T-minus 30 seconds real employees are going to come running. I stand my ground and glare at her. I said something along the lines of, "Look lady, I do not effing work here," and gesture to my fishnets. Before she can start screaming again, I put my finger up and shamelessly rip into her, saying, "I'm glad I don't work here," and tell her she's a nightmare customer and a crap person. She starts hollering and I refuse to yell back, so I turn heel and walk away, and this audacious cow has the nerve to follow me, telling me I'm obviously a working girl for dressing like that. I cannot believe my manager would let me represent the company like that, and she is going to have both of our jobs. I flip her off over my shoulder and pass one of the employees rushing to the auto section on my way out. I grin at him and say, "Clean up on aisle 10, soccer mom's off her meds again," and head for self-checkout. As I was leaving, I saw one of the local police officers coming in, obviously responding to the disturbance. There is pretty much always at least one patrol car in their designated parking spot at all times. We jokingly call Walmart the second station. I smiled and waved at him and got in my car and went home laughing the whole way. That was probably one of the best I don't work here lady Walmart stories I've heard so far. If you have any funny Karen Walmart stories to share, please post them on our subreddit r/ripestories and I would be happy to read your story. Also, if you have watched until here, please post some stars in the comments. But let's continue. I end up becoming an employee for an hour and a half and got paid. The cast is OL, old lady, GS, grandson, and M for me. This is not a bad experience but a funny one to remember. One day I was shopping at Joan Fabrics and I was in the fabric aisle and was looking around. When I felt a tap on my shoulder, I turned around to see an old woman about 70 or so with a guy behind her. He looks about a year older than me, about 16 years old. Old lady:
Excuse me, but you work here, right?
Keep in mind that I'm wearing a dark blue sweater with a white Triforce on it. The employees there wear a white t-shirt with a green apron with the company logo on it. I stand there for a second, processing what she just said. Me: no, I don't work here. OL:
Oh, okay, but I need your help for 1 second.
She then brings her card over to me. It has 3 big fluffy fabric rolls in it, a snowman, a reindeer, and a penguin patterns. OL:
I'm making my grandbaby a nice blanket, and I need someone's advice on which one I should get him.
She then points to the guy who's standing right behind her. He's looking really embarrassed and like he just wants to leave. OL:
I asked my daughter and we all have different opinions, so I want someone to break the tie.
She looks at me and smiles. OL:
So?
Me: I like the snowman one. OL:
I thought so too. Well, GS, you're getting the snowman pattern.
She is literally jumping around with glee and had a huge smile. GS just covered his face in embarrassment. In a weird way, I felt embarrassed with him. She looked at me for a second. OL:
Oh, what a lovely pattern.
I looked down and remember I had a roll of fabric in my arms. It has pink cherry blossoms on it with a black background. Me: Oh, thank you. OL:
You have a good eye for cute patterns. Say, can you help me out? I'm also trying to look for a cute pattern for my 3-year-old daughter. I wanted to make her a dress for her birthday that's coming up in a week.
I have a soft spot for old people and I did not have the heart to say no, so I agreed. I won't forget how happy she looked when I said yes. She looked like she wanted to cry. OL: Oh, thank you. My daughter and grandson never really help when it comes to things like this. They usually just nod at everything and never actually help. The grandson just kinda looks down. His face basically says, just kill me already. And his face goes bright red. OL: GS, can you go and wait on the bench while us ladies go and shop? He quickly nods and gives me a I'm sorry look and hurries away. We shop around for a while. She was really nice. She told me about her grandson and granddaughter. The type of stories a grandma would tell, the embarrassing ones. We find this pink pattern with strawberries and flowers on it. The entire time she's smiling and gleaming with joy. OL: I hope when she grows up she has a fashion eye just like you. I thank her and she shops a little more, asking what would look nice on the dress and asking if frills would look nice on the bottom and what accessories would look good on it. After helping her for about an hour and a half, she finishes shopping and goes to the checkout. OL: Thank you for putting up with me and thank you for helping me out. I truly appreciate it. Me: It's no problem. I like shopping for fabrics and stuff. I actually sometimes shop with my grandma. OL: Your grandma raised you right. Also, here's a little something for wasting your time. She then hands me $30. I declined, telling her it's alright and that I had fun shopping with her. She kept insisting and I gave in. She then hugged me and went on her way, waving at me as she left. I met up with my mom, who I had forgotten about. Oops. Every time I go back in that store, I cannot help but think of her and smile. I really hope her granddaughter loved the dress. Guys, please tell me in the comments if you like these wholesome I don't work here lady stories. Because I think every now and then it's nice to have a little bit of variety. My wholesome Magic Time Machine experience. If you have never been to Magic Time Machine, a strangely themed restaurant filled to the brim with wacky decor and odd looking waitstaff, you're missing out. One of the main draws of this restaurant is their waitstaff always donning the characters of popular and sometimes obscure media. I've seen everything from Spider-Gwen to Jack Sparrow to Doc Brown. The staff looks and acts like their character, making for a very strange but entertaining experience. One of the cool features of this restaurant is that everyone is given an autographed book, and they can ask the staff to sign it for them. It just adds to the experience. Now my story starts on my girlfriend at the time's birthday. This restaurant was her current favorite place, and that's where she wanted to eat. I know what you're thinking. It's a restaurant where everyone is in costume. How could someone confuse you for staff? The answer: I'm a punk. We are talking the whole shebang. Green hair, spike and patch covered jacket, ripped up jeans, combat boots, piercings, and I look as edgy as a 14-year-old who discovered scene music, and I love it. This current day, I was wearing my favorite pair of bright red, ripped up skinny jeans, combat boots, and my dark grey battle jacket. As I was accompanying my partner to the salad bar, I heard a little voice from behind say, "Mommy, who's that?" To which the mother replied,
I don't know, you should go ask him.
Needless to say, there was a small tug on my battle jacket and a little girl holding an autograph book looking up at me. In a sheepish voice, she asked what character I was and if I would sign her book. So I did what every slightly narcissistic punk rocker would do. I knelt down, took her pen, signed her book, and told her I was a character from the future that nobody knew yet, and one day she would find out. The child smiled and ran up to her mother with the book, and when my girlfriend handed me my plate of salad, I could see it sink into the mother's eyes what had just occurred. I could see the shock in her eyes, and quietly mouthed, "It's okay," and smiled at her. I enjoyed the rest of my night, getting absolutely roasted by my girlfriend and her friends, but I felt pretty dang cool. That was actually a very kind move, because you should not destroy the illusion of a little kid. By the way guys, what is your favorite superhero? Tell us in the comments. My favorite superhero is probably either Spider-Man or the Punisher. But let's continue, we have to read some more stuff. EMT mistaken for retail worker. Was told to post this here from someone in another sub I posted in. So I am an EMT and I work 2 jobs. One is a 911 service that is pretty fast paced, and the other is a non-emergency transport service where we don't stay too busy. About a month ago, I was working my non-emergency job and I realized I did not bring my cell phone charger with me. We weren't busy at all that day, so I told my partner I needed to swing by a store and pick one up. We got to the store, parked the rig and walked inside. I went to electronics department and he walked over to the outdoor section. Now my uniform at this particular service is a red button-up shirt, black tactical cargo pants and black boots. Absolutely nothing like this store's uniform, but whatever. So I am standing there looking at chargers, trying to decide which one I want when I hear Dumb Karen, DPB for short, clearing her throat in an obvious attempt to get my attention. I turned and looked at her, nodded my head and said, "How are you, ma'am?" Then turned back towards the chargers. The craziest crap I've ever witnessed. DPB,
Well, I'd be better if you would stop shopping on the clock and do your job.
I slowly turn my head back towards her with my mouth hanging open in complete disbelief. Me? Lady, what are you talking about? DPB,
I'm talking about how I need help and your lazy ass is shopping instead of helping me. I will give you one chance to help me find what I need before I find your manager and have you fired.
Now I know I could have just explained that I don't work there and probably ended it there, but this woman needed to learn her lesson. Me? No, I'd rather you just go find my manager. DPB,
What a piece of crap.
she storms off and I finish picking out a charger, and about that time my partner walks up. I tell him what happened and he says I must be exaggerating. That is just too crazy. Just as we were turning to go to the register to check out, I see DPB turning down the aisle with a manager in tow. DPB:
"That's him there, the big one with the beard. I want him fired immediately."
The manager looks extremely confused at this point. Manager: "Ma'am, I'm sorry for the confusion, but he doesn't work here. Our uniforms are blue, he's wearing red." At this point, my partner and I bust out laughing, and DPB's face turns as red as our shirts, and she starts screaming at the manager. DPB:
"Then I want him thrown out of the store. I've never been treated this way before. F both of you pieces of crap."
Manager: "Ma'am, they haven't done anything wrong that I can see, but if you don't lower your voice, I will have you removed from the store." The lady turns and storms off while still yelling about how unprofessional this is and how she will never come back to this store. The manager apologizes to us and I tell him what started the issue. He thought it was hilarious and laughed about it, then walked with us to the closest register to check out. While we are checking out, our radios go off for an emergency transfer at the hospital about a mile away. "Female patient, 24 weeks pregnant and preterm labor, needs to be transferred to a higher level of care." We rush out to the ambulance, and as soon as my partner puts the truck in drive, a car stops right in front of our parking space and DPB jumps out, phone in hand, filming herself acting like a goddamn fool. DPB:
"These are the buttholes that embarrass me in the store. I will not let them get away with it. I want your names and your manager's number right goddamn now."
I roll down my window and lean my head out. Me: "Ma'am, our unit number and company phone number are on the back of the ambulance. You are more than welcome to take a picture of it while we drive away, but we have a call and don't have time for this. Please move your car and let us leave." DPB:
"I don't give a F about your call. F you prick."
Me: "Lady, I just told you that we have a call. If you don't move your car, I will call the police and have you charged with obstruction of EMS. I am not asking you again. Move your damn car." As soon as I mention the police, she walks back to her car, still cussing me, and gets in her car and reverses it so we can leave. I call my manager to give him a heads up. I don't know if she ever called or not, but this definitely made me realize what retail workers go through, and respect them even more. That is possibly the most entitled story I've ever read. This woman literally does not care about anyone else but herself and does not even give a damn about an EMS call. I would argue that's probably a form of narcissism. But either way guys, that's all the content I have for you today. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my content. And I hope you have a fantastic day and I see you tomorrow.